Welcome to the magical world of solar. My name's Jay Warmke from Blue Rock Station. We're going to talk about installing microinverters, and specifically the Enphase microinverters, which is the largest selling brand of microinverter. Now, this model that I have here in my hand is a Enphase M250. It's an older technology, several generations old, but you'll still find these, you'll still see these out in the field. So I want to explain. This hooks in parallel with a proprietary connector, and then each panel connects to one of these microinverters. So the DC energy from the solar panel is being converted into 240 volt AC electricity in the microinverter. So there is no DC cabling within this system. Now, what makes this work is once you're up there installing them, this is the proprietary cable that comes with this system. And each of these little ports is a place where you can make a 200 or a parallel connection. So you'll line these up. This will simply click in. You'll listen for the clicks, and then the parallel connection has been made. The thing that you will need, though, is if you do have to disconnect these, you'll need this special tool, and that then fits in, pushes in there, and then you can release this after it has been connected. So that's the older technology of the Enphase system. Now, this is the newer generation of the Enphase microinverters. This is an IQ7. It does comply with the California Rule 21, so it is tested to the UL standard 1741 SA. It's generically known as a smart inverter. This one will have an indicator here for AC, an indicator for DC. So you take the proprietary cable, it clicks into place in that port. So this is now making a parallel connection between the various microinverters. And then this comes with a little attachment for the DC connection. It clicks into the DC port, and then you will connect your panels with the positive and the negative going into these terminals. It's a little bit slicker system than the other one, and a lot less expensive than that other proprietary cable. Now we're ready to go ahead and mount the microinverters to the rail. It mounts with a single bolt. Now there's usually a star washer that goes between the inverter itself and the rail, so that creates a bonded connection to the rail. Then you want to make sure that you space these microinverters on the rail a certain distance apart. The spacing of these units will depend on whether you're using a landscape cable or a portrait cable. Now, the portrait cable is a little bit shorter between the plugs than a landscape cable. Now, after you've mounted these microinverters to the rail, and before you put the solar panel on, be sure you remove and record the label that's associated with each microinverter. You'll lay those out in a grid that will indicate which inverter is at which place on the array, so when you put together your software to monitor it, you'll know which inverter is at which location. They say in the instructions that there's a grid that they provide. I haven't found one for quite some time. So just draw a little grid and stick the labels on there. No problem. Just make sure you remove those, because if you put the panels on first, then you're going to have to take all the panels off to get at those labels. Now, as you can see, the location of the microinverters, you want to make sure that they don't interfere with the edge of the panels, because the edge of the panels are going to sit right on the rails. So you want to give enough space there between so that they are fitting in there nice and snug. Now, once the system is up and operating, there is a little indicator light at the bottom. When it's flashing green, that's going to indicate that the microinverter is behaving properly. That's in the instructions as well, so read that. It'll depend on the unit. Then after they've all been installed and you've installed your panels, you want to make sure that you're managing the wire properly. There's some nice clips that you can use. Those clips are a little bit better than the zip ties because you are looking for a system that's probably going to last 25 years. And zip ties, they do a good job, but they're not really designed for that kind of longevity. Now, each inverter, in this case, will connect in with the proprietary cable. You push this in and you should listen for the clicks. right, that's made a parallel connection, so there's no wiring that's required when you're up on the roof or underneath a ground-mounted array such as this. You want to make sure your wire is managed properly. And then we're going to take the MC4 connectors that come from each panel. We're going to feed those over. I'm going to loop them between so that the rails are actually going to support these cables, I hope. We'll do a bit of cable management later. And then we have a male, a female. They will hook in. The male goes into the female connector here on the microinverter. You'll listen for the click, and the female will connect to the male here. And now our panel is connected up to the microinverter, and the microinverters are connected together. Now the wire that comes in this proprietary cable is 12 gauge, so it has a maximum of about 20 amp carrying capacity, which means you can only hook up about 15 or 16 of these microinverters, but the table with the product will tell you how many you can hook up in a parallel circuit. Once you've hooked up all of them that you wish, it will then connect down, and you need to make a cabling transition in a box or a combiner box of some sort. Now the other end of this branch circuit, you'll need to terminate that cable so that the wire doesn't short circuit, and they'll send you a special terminating unit, and that will keep the wire separated and weather tight. Okay, when you're using the proprietary cable for a Enphase microinverter, one end is going to be left just hanging. The other will be connected up to your combiner box or your junction box. But the other end, you want to make sure that it does not short circuit. These wires will be live in there. So they sell a unit that you'll use. It's different for each of these proprietary cables. This is an older version, an M250, and it's fairly straightforward how these go together. You can see that you just simply trim the cables. This has two hots, a ground, and a neutral. We slide them in. They're kept separated from each other so they can't touch. We put the cap over top of it. So now you've got a watertight seal. And then this just simply screws down in there. And it's got a place where you can use a wrench to get a really good tight seal. And then this will just hang on the bottom of your solar array, but it keeps that end from ever short-circuiting. We've brought the branch circuit from the microinverters down here into a junction box. This is a very simple junction box, but in this particular case, I want to incorporate an AC surge protector into our system. So you'll see the wires coming off the microinverter. In this case, we have a ground, we have the neutral, and then line 1 and line 2 of our system. That corresponds with the surge, which will be a line 1, line 2, and a ground, no neutral. And then from here, we will go out with our neutral, line 1, line 2, and ground. These are simply connected together in a parallel circuit. You can use wire nuts, or you could mount in some bus bars, or you could get a box that comes with all of those terminations already incorporated. But we're simply combining all three of these in parallel and continuing on down from here to the AC disconnect. Once you've mounted all of your microinverters, attached all of your rails, then do a bit of cable management, make sure everything's tucked in there nice and clean, and you've got a nice, really professional looking solar installation.
You can find more information on living sustainably in our unsustainable world at bluerockstation.com.